this nature of man. Man, you women too, meaning the individual, meant generically, is very different than man has looked at man before. That the individual has value. And that a society that is established understands that, nurtures the individual, preserves the individual, promotes industriousness and sociability and civility and economic prosperity and charity among men. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our heritage. This is our lineage. I say in Ameritopia, this is the heritage and lineage of the American people which dates hundreds of years before the American Revolution and transcends all else. From the earliest settlers escaping persecution or seeking opportunities in the New World, to the original colonies asserting self-rule through popular sovereignty and numerous local governing bodies, from the demand for independence, the assertion of inalienable individual rights, and the Revolutionary War, to the founding of a constitutional republic to secure individual liberty in the civil society, the American people engaged in the most widely considered and far-reaching exploration of humanity, its meaning, cultivation, and application in world history. In world history. Even half a century after the adoption of the Constitution, the character and psychology of the American people were apparent to Alexis de Tocqueville. There's been talk about the psychology of the American people. Tocqueville wrote about it repeatedly. Repeatedly. And he said, they have been allowed by their circumstances, meaning we, the American people, their origin, their intelligence, and especially by their morals, to establish and maintain the sovereignty of the people. When the 55 delegates met in Philadelphia in 1787 at what became known as the Constitutional Convention, their purpose was not to transform American society, but to preserve and protect it. That was the point of the Revolutionary War. That was the point of the Declaration of Independence. That's the point today of the United States Constitution. Now, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg had said during her confirmation hearings, I would advise other countries not to use our Constitution, but to use other constitutions and so forth, I doubt she would have been confirmed. But there she is on the Supreme Court ruling over matters that are crucial to your life and well-being. Now, much has changed in America, and for the worse. The underlying factors and values that make possible the civil society, which center on the liberty and rights of the individual, have been and are being stifled, devitalized by utopian masterminds who substitute their preferences, their objectives, their decisions, including rewarding their political allies and supporters. They substitute them for a free people. That's what this ruling or this regulation by HHS is all about. That's what this ruling by California is all about. That's what it's all about. I've been talking about this at length since I got behind the microphone. I wrote about it at length, starting with Men in Black and Liberty and Tyranny, and now I think the most important book that I've ever written on these subjects, Ameritopia. The means by which these utopians amass their power is through the federal government. The federal government has become unmoored from its origins. And now the Catholic Church, Orthodox Jews, Muslims, Mormons, people of other faiths, people of no faith, have to beg bureaucrats at the Department of HHS, have to beg bureaucrats, have to go hand in knee to bureaucrats to comply with the First Amendment and to leave their religious institutions alone. This is how far we have fallen. America has been transitioning from a society based, this is Ameritopia, on God-given inalienable rights, protected of individual and community sovereignty, to a centralized administrative statism that has become a power unto itself. It appears nearly everywhere as a dominant fixture, an intrusive force in daily life. If its interventions are with limits, the limits are increasingly difficult to define. The circle of liberty, which was once expansive, within which the individual was largely unmolested in his manner and pursuits, is shrinking rapidly, as less and less area is left for him to live without torment. Now, don't tell me I haven't accurately described what's going on in this country. We are in perilous times. I am not trying to be controversial. I'm trying to be accurate. I'll be right back.